I've been waiting almost a whole year to make this wedding cake and groom's cake. Oh no, I missed a step. I need to put icing on the board. Okay. And the time has finally come. I am so excited to show y'all what we have kicking up. Cooking, not kicking. It's late, so all I'm gonna do tonight is stack this cake and then we'll get to the crazy stuff in the morning. I have to travel 2.5 hours with this cake. So typically I put these leveling rods, which are boba straws. I just put them through the bottom tier, middle tier, and then one big rod through the top tier. But since I'm traveling so far, I put the leveling rods between the bottom 2 layers of board and then some more on the next 2 layers for extra support. I think this is the farthest I've traveled with the wedding cake. Yes, this has to be the farthest I've traveled with a wedding cake. The cake is really cold. So it's kind of hard to cut these. I'm like using all my strength to cut these. This is a 10, 8, and 6. So I'm cutting the board. This is an 8-inch board. I'm cutting it smaller to fit for the 6-inch. If you've seen my other videos, you know the steps. Icing first to make the board stick, and then more icing on top so the next layer sticks as well, because a cake can't stick to cardboard like that. Your cake should be cold enough where you can just pick it up like this with the paper towels. Okay, I'm going in the cracks and I just fill in so it looks like the cake is just all connected together. It still looks crazy, but trust the process. And just spin it really fast and push. The tricky part to this is you don't want to fully push down this, or it's going to fully push down this edge, or it's going to scrape the top of that cake and then just mess it up. So you want to kind of like put it at an angle where it's also blending in the lines so it blends all the way in the cake. So you see that it's all blended now. Right now, typically the next steps would be to decorate, but right now this thing is going in the fridge, and then I'll catch y'all back tomorrow for the groom's cake. You're gonna die. You know who's actually gonna die? Me, because if I wouldn't have just seen these rods laying on the table, I would have completely forgot to put the rod in the cake. That's scary. Ooh. So right when my hand gets close enough to where it's about to touch the cake, that's when I get, okay, I'm trying to stay still on this chair. That's when I get my spatula and I take the rest of it and I just push it down. Or the cake's very cold. Now it goes in the fridge. This thing is gonna be heavy. Welcome back. Okay, so the wedding cake is pretty simple, but there is a system to it that I use. I don't know if everybody else does it, but this is kind of how I do it. It is pearls. I use Dash Joy pearl sprinkles for all my pearl cakes. I've been doing this brand for a while. I've seen other brands I want to try, but I really, really like the color of these pearls. I think sprinkles in general are nasty, so I'm not going to go into taste. Every time I get steel to decorate a cake is when I get like really cold. This mini splint is topped here. Sprinkles kind of look messy, but I like to stagger them in a certain way to where it's even out. I don't know how to explain it. So basically I take the bigger pearls, because there's 4 sizes. Honestly, looking at them, I think there's more than 4 sizes, but there's 4 sizes. And I take the bigger ones, and you're gonna use the least amount of these as possible. So I'm gonna do it kind of back here, and then I'm gonna spin it around. But basically it's like a V, like an upside down crown is where you're going with it. But you want these to be like spread out a lot. You don't want them to be close, and you're gonna see them as it comes around. Now same thing for the bottom, except you're gonna go in the little open areas here, but you're still gonna do like the V, but you're gonna go in that open area. And then you're gonna go up in that open area. Like keep the middle open, and I did do that. I did pull them a little close because it is still a staggered look, but majority of it's gonna be open, and you'll see that with the rest of the sprinkles I put on. See that variation. You go down a size. So I have the really big ones, and then I have these. I really hope you can see. I can't really turn it because they'll fall out. But then I start staggering these as well. Okay, so you see how I kind of went here and here? You're gonna do the same thing like this. So it's like a up, down kind of line. So it's like this. Does that make sense? So it's like not too much going on, but you are getting the gist of staggering it up and down. I'm not gonna put a pearl right above this because then it lines up and it makes it look like a line of pearls. So it needs to kind of stagger like that. Does that make sense? It's gonna look crazy, but the more you start adding in the different sizes, the better it gets. Are you kind of seeing it though? Like, are you visualizing it? Okay, now time to seal the cake. I stacked it. As you could tell, it's chocolate on chocolate cake, so chocolate cake with chocolate buttercream. Now I need to seal it with chocolate ganache, and then I'll seal it with the modeling chocolate. So this is kind of like the boring part of decorating these big old cakes, but it is the most important part. As you can tell, I have a lot of chocolate ganache. So for Yetis, in the front part, it has like a dent. So I'm going to wrap the whole cake. She wants it like a tan nude, that just broke. Nude brown. Did like a cork color, best resemblance with the inspiration picture. Right now, I'm just kind of smoothing out all the creases from having to pick it up. It created some wrinkles. But the thing with modeling chocolate, it smooths out so much better than fondant. Fondant, you can't really get rid of the cracks. I'm going to surprise the bride with a stained wooden board, so she doesn't know it. Over here, I had pushed the edges underneath, so now I'm pushing the edges on this side on top and molding it into the cake. Go on the top up here and just pull it as straight a line as I can off the top. That was pretty good. And then I'm gonna go in not against the cake, but right like a hair away from it. That's pretty, isn't it? Please don't rip. Go as close to the edge as I can. Keep going, keep going. There we go. She's solid. Oh my gosh. Please fit. So it's gonna look like one giant Amazon box right now. Amazon delivery, anyone? You? It literally looks like an Amazon box, but we're getting there. So for an ice chest, it has like the openings where the handles go on each side, and in the back it has the logo like right up here. So, well, it has the logo on one side, and on the back it's the lid, you know the gist. So I'm adding a side here. And then I go and push this part in to go ahead and hold it against the cake. I want it to not move while I'm trying to structure the rest of it. The other part, because you can't see where it ends or meets. Now I'm onto the front part, and so it's a little tricky. I did it in like a weird L. To make sure this doesn't go anywhere, I'm going to mold the top part in. 4 6-inch cakes, so 2 of them for the duck and 2 of them for the fish. And then I just kind of carved them and pushed them together. Yeah. I did carve like a single layer in half because these are not going to be very thick. So it needs to be a single layer, but I do want them to still have icing on them. And now I'm just adding chocolate ganache, and then carve them, texture them, and then paint them. Before I start covering them all up, they look a little crazy. When they dry, I'll bring y'all back to the texturing and the wrapping and those details. And the chocolate ganache is drying on the animals, or the creatures. I am rolling out this the best way I can. I'm gonna cut it in the middle right here, and then I'm gonna twist them to make it look like a little braid. Just wait. And kind of like roll them together. I want it to be twisty handles. This, and I'm going to put it with 2 little rods. Okay, it fell, I'm gonna fix it. So it'll be better for traveling. This will be the duck, and I'm going to cover it up. This might not be the correct way to do it, but this is how I'm doing it. Right now I'm just trying to build his head and neck into this cake. So I'm molding it in, and I kind of shaped out a round figure, but his neck is kind of what I'm stressing about. I'm gonna add his like feet, the fins, lastly, like, because I still want to like a burnt wooden board. And so I wanted this on top because then it's gonna save me that space to have to put the wooden board part. So, but I do want to add feathers as well. So that's gonna be like the stressful part. For sure, I want a feather right here. Go too high because I'm also going to cover it up with more on top. But I want to get the spots that will be. Okay, so I've gotten the rest of the feathers on. Now I need to kind of just fray out the ends. I want bigger slashes. I'm afraid sticking out. Other tool, and I just poked a hole. And I'm just kind of like dabbing to make a weird brown texture all over it. Okay, I'm getting down to the final pieces. So I put the fish on top. As you can tell, I did his mouth where he's hanging off because the idea is I'm gonna have like a hook with a fishing bobber coming out. I'm gonna just finish adding his gills with this little tip. Okay, I'm surprising the bride with a stained wooden board. So I'm almost done carving the wood streaks out. I've gotten 90% of it done. Twisting like ovals, going over each other till I cover the rest of the board. Rise and shine, it's cake time. I hope I don't look as tired as I feel. I am officially done with the mat. I just bought this, just bought it. And my knives always cut through it. It needs to be washed, so. All I have left to do today is to paint the white parts and then pack up. And I have 6 hours. Okay, there we go. This is supposed to be like an ice mold, but I use it for the painting, my painting tray. So this is kind of how I did it. I put little drops in each one, and then I'm gonna put some almond extract where I put the paint, and then I lined up the paint over here just so I wouldn't forget how it is lined up in here. Then my favorite thing in the kitchen, my brush cup.
Just like it.
That's great. Even if you just left it like that.
Whoa! That is sick.
Oh, it looks so
Oh my
good.
god. Dude!